One thing that's happened since COVID is that QR codes are now well and truly in the mainstream. Everybody knows how to use them. Everybody knows what they do. But then, as a result, what I've seen is some businesses then implement them without thinking it through properly, and therefore the implementation has been poor. So today, let's have a look at using your QR codes with intent. So we're going to start off by looking at two bad examples. Those two examples, the first one was using a Facebook code using a QR code in a Facebook post. So I don't actually know what the current stats are, but I believe it's somewhere around that 90% of Facebook use is on a phone. So if you think about that, I'm scrolling through Facebook, I see a QR code, the camera is there. How do I then scan the code? Unless I set up a complicated array of mirrors, I can't. So that's the first instance that there was no practical way to scan the code when I was looking at it on my phone. The second one relates to the destination of the QR code, and in this instance it was linking to a PDF. Now, that's bad enough on its own. Most of the time a PDF file is an A4 page. You try and load an A4 page on something like that, and it shrinks to fit, and you've got to pinch and zoom and then drag it around to read the thing. It's not fun. But this form was, this PDF file, I should say, was a form. You actually had to fill it in. So if I can pinch and zoom and tap in the fields and fill them in, I've then got the PDF file, maybe open in a browser tab on my phone, or maybe it's saved as a downloads folder. I've then got to try and send it back to you somehow. Like, how do I then submit the form? It's a PDF file on the phone. So, that was another one that just didn't, the user experience wasn't that great. And that leads me to the key reason why these implementations were bad. Primarily, the customer experience hadn't been considered. The thought hadn't been put into how and why and what's the outcome of using a QR code in these circumstances. And so often we find that marketing tactics are based upon either what's easy for you rather than taking on some additional work and effort for yourself to make it easy for the customer. And I see this a lot. Or whatever's new and shiny and trendy, let's do that thing, whether or not it actually makes sense to do it. So let's have a look at some tips for being smart with QR codes. And I've got three, because 3 is the magic number. So if you think about how people scan, they will be on their phones, so they need access to the camera in order to scan the QR code. So a digital implementation of a QR code is generally not that it doesn't make sense most of the time. Offline implementations work better. So think about back of your business card or a poster, or another example is, can you see? Yeah, you can see the printer over there. There's a sticker on that with a QR code on it. Now I can scan that and submit a meter reading, or I can submit a service request, log a service request, because the sticker is printed on there and I can easily use the camera on my phone to scan it. So if you think about that, offline examples are they'd be your best case for a QR code. Next thing to think about is why they scan. So do you randomly run around all day scanning QR codes for no particular reason? I mean, of course you don't. So neither will your customers. So have a think about why they're going to be scanning the code. So if it's on the back of your business card, is it because they're saving your contact details to their contacts list on your phone? Or are they scanning it to get access to some kind of resource or checklist or worksheet? Or are they registering for something or signing up for something? Like, what's the purpose for scanning the QR code? And again, going back to that printer example, there's a purpose for the QR code there. It's not a bit of mystery as to why I'm going to scan it. And the final one is to think about the user experience when they do actually scan. So the destination can't just be mobile friendly. I would suggest it should be mobile only, preferably, or at the very least mobile first. And what I mean by that is just sending them to your homepage even if you've got a mobile optimized website, so they've still got to scroll around and navigate your menus and find the thing they want to find. Whereas if it's going to a page that is dedicated for, somebody scanned a QR code to get to it, it might look like complete rubbish on your desktop, but it doesn't matter because it's built for being looked at on a phone. Strip out a lot of the desktop-y kind of stuff. Just don't show it. Keep your page nice and simple so that when they're looking at it on a phone, if they're like me and they're not wearing their glasses half the time and everything's a bit blurry, they can still do what they need to do and what you want them to do on their phone without desktop things getting in the way. And that's what I mean by mobile first or mobile only. The page that they get to after scanning the QR code might look like complete rubbish on a desktop, but that doesn't matter. It's designed for being used on a phone. All right, so we'll just zoom out on there. So we've looked at two poorly implemented examples of QR codes, the reason why the implementation was poor, and then 3 steps for making your QR codes better. So hopefully you get something out of that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.